real quick, we're just going to go over how to actually create a pivot table. So first off, I am on data set 1 of the spreadsheet that I went ahead and gave you. So on data set 1, here's how you create a pivot table. First things first. Okay, so this is always going to follow that. Select your data, make the table. All right, so here you go. I've just selected my data. And then under data, pivot table. That's how you do it. Now, notice down here at the bottom, I went from task list, data set 1, data set 2, it added pivot table 4. Okay, it's possible it added pivot table 1 for you. If you want to, you can change this. Okay, you could say data set 1, pivot table. There you go. You can change that if you want to. All right, next. Couple of things to notice. Right now, my cursor is on A1. If I click over here, my stuff disappears. If I click inside the table, so the table is actually right now right there. If I click inside the table, I have these options. If I click outside the table, they're gone. Okay, so just making sure that I show you that. Now, let's go ahead and add rows. I can add CUSD number. Now that's a very bad choice, because if you can tell, there's lots of CUSD numbers. Lots of unique values means your table is not a summary. That might be something that maybe I add down in values. So I can remove that, or notice I get this little plus sign, I can even drag that around. So there you go. And it does a sum, that's fine. I could actually change that if I wanted to count. If this was not a numerical value, I would change it to count A. Right? So I'll leave that as count. Rows. For rows, let's go ahead and add, let's try make for rows. There's not that many makes, so that was actually a good choice. And you can always look at your data and find out what are there a lot of and what are there not a lot of. For column, I could do OS. Now we have a table, okay? And this is the table that was in the intro piece, or that was in the intro slide deck. Now, there are a couple of extra data pieces in here that were not in that. That means I must have filtered it. So certain things that I don't like, I hate this row right here that has the blanks. So I'm going to filter those out. So I'm going to add a filter. And I'm going to say by operating system. By the way, notice operating system, and there's my operating systems. I want to get rid of the blanks. So right now it says showing all items. I'll click and I'm going to uncheck blanks. Okay. My blanks just went away. Okay. And that was kind of a nice piece. So there's that. That's how I made a data, or that's the first pivot table that I've made. See if you can make this data table or this pivot table. I did tell you, or let's just stop right there. Go ahead and see if you can make this data table or play around with it. See what happens when you move things around. I'll do another video on just a little bit more advanced things on here.